5 habits to get to sleep quickly. So everyone has spent countless nights tossing and turning, unable to get to sleep, fretting about how much energy they're going to have for the next day. Now, I have personally used these 5 habits to massively improve the quality of my sleep tenfold, and I want to share them with you today. My name's George, and I'm a coach. I try and help people. That's why we're here. Now, before we get into these habits, I need to tell you, if you've got anything like sleep insomnia, or you've just got loads of stress coming from a really obvious source in your life, sleep hygiene habits are not going to cut it. So you're going to need to seek medical advice if that's applicable to you. However, that being said, here are the 5 habits. Number 1, switch off your devices. So, turning off all the blue light from your life should be an easy thing to do to begin that wind down process, okay? So it's very simple. This is when you do it. You should roughly know how much sleep you need to function. It should be however much you would sleep were you to not set an alarm. So you take your wake up time, you wind back those hours. For me, it's 8 hours. And then you maybe take off another hour or two, depending on how much stuff you need to do before you go to sleep. So if you need to like make lunches, do cleaning, iron shirts, anything like that, then take off another 2 hours. And I know that encroaches on your personal time so much, but that is genuinely what it takes to build up those good sleep habits, okay? So then you switch off all of your tech, and then you find other things to be doing other than just television, phone, tablet, okay? You want it all down. Habit number 2. Now this one was probably the most transformational for me, was learning to meditate. So, you haven't got to be some Zen Buddhist to get better sleep from meditating. All it simply means, well for me, was just sitting on the floor, don't lie down, back up nice and straight, focus on your breathing a little bit, maybe just settle into it. Some longer out breaths than in breaths, box breathing where you just go like 4 in, hold for 4, 4 out, hold for 4, repeat, or whatever you want to do. But the main thing for me was then just letting my thoughts come into my mind, noticing the racing around, all these jumbled thoughts, and just watching them fade. And then I could genuinely feel my body becoming more and more relaxed. And then when I just think to myself, okay, I'm tired now, my body is calmed down, then I would get into bed and sleep would be much easier. Perhaps even after that, you get into bed, you close your eyes, and you just try and continue that meditative process. Now, meditation for better sleep is such an obvious one, right? And if you don't do it, it's very, very easy to snuff at that idea and go to and say to yourself, oh, it's not for me, it doesn't work. Persevere with meditation for sleep. It is an absolute game changer, right? You would go to the gym to look after your health. You would eat carrots, broccoli, vegetables, fruits, whatever, for your gut and for your health, but yet you would never engage in any sort of help or any sort of upkeep in your mental health, which is well-being. And given that your entire livelihood functions from your brain, from your thoughts, it is kind of wild to have a blanket idea of, I'm not going to engage with that at all. It is a game changer. Please do it. Habit number 3, following on from switching off all your devices, just read before bed. Reading before bed makes you sleepy. And now, that does not mean you have to pick up Pride and Prejudice or the Oxford English Dictionary and read it page after page after page. Do not do that. Find a book that you find genuinely stimulating. Make the effort to find a book that you like. If anything, I should warn you, don't find a book that you love too much, because it can almost activate and make you more engaged and more awake. That has definitely happened to me reading Miracle in the Andes. So just something where you think, oh, okay, good enough to pick up, but not too good that you can't put down. But read. Reading is really useful. I've got here I've got a big stack of books that I'm reading by my bedside, and I'll just pick up one of them, flick through a few pages. If I need something really boring, if I need something a bit more light, I've got options there. Okay, the Audible trick. Now this one is a neighbour taught to me years ago, and it genuinely really works. So what you want to do is get an audiobook or something like a podcast. You want to lay still in your bed to the point where if you move, you can't hear the audio. Okay, so you have to lie deathly still and then just set it on a timer or whatever you need to do. Close your eyes and just stay very still and listen to it. And eventually, where your attention's occupied, your body will shut off. Point number 5 is an holistic point on your life generally. Now, a few years ago, I remember saying to my dad, I'm going to get this mattress. It'll be good for my sleep. And he went to me something along the lines of, I've never cared what I fall asleep on my whole life because I'm always so tired. Right? In the modern world where you can work remotely, spend all day on a laptop, not do any exercise, it's then very easy to feel kind of angst before going to bed to the point where you can't sleep, okay? If you have a busy life, you're getting out, you're doing things, you're pushing yourself to achieve something or whatever. That, I mean, not everyone has to be pushing to achieve something, but just getting out, doing stuff, maybe go for a walk, you just have a general good, you have a generally healthy lifestyle, that will make it easier to sleep. So this point is more so if you struggle to sleep continuously, just reflect honestly on what are you doing generally with your life, because that could be a clue that you kind of need to clean up your act somewhere else to sleep better. So those are my 5 tips. I really hope they help. Leave me some comments, good or bad, what you thought of those tips, and even if you want to leave any hate, I'll be glad to hear it. I'll be making a load of other videos on YouTube, so I would also appreciate you looking at them. I would love to hear feedback on any of them. I'd appreciate that so much. Okay, thank you, goodbye.